Hello then, this is John Dunkley, and I just want to go through online presentations. Now, when we do advertising, obviously we're going to get some leads coming in, and if the leads are local, what I would highly recommend is you make the phone call and then you do a one-to-one presentation, so get in front of people. However, if they're at a distance, then the next best option is to do an online presentation, and that's really what I want to go through today. So let's have a look at how we do that. The first thing is you can give them the website address. They could then put it into their browser and then they can find the website. The problem with that is very often they spell it wrong, or it just doesn't find it. So what I like to do is actually send them an email. Now this email, in the body of the email, it's actually got the website address, and I just ring them up, make sure that they're actually going to be there, and when they're on the actual phone, then I'll send this email. So let's do that now. I'll send the email to people, and what I then do is go into the sent, open it up, and then click on the link. Alright, so that will now take me through to the actual site. When I'm speaking to the person, first of all, I'll just have a bit of a chat with them, see how they're getting on today, find out really a little bit more about the person, what they would like to get from the business, and then I ask them to have a look at this site. Now this is very much like a book, so what I ask them to do is to go to the top of the page, see that number 1 up there, to the right of it there's an arrow, click on the arrow and it actually turns the page for them. Now at this point I then run through a bit of background about the company. You know, Clean Easy is a very secure company. It's part of a £600 million PLC. It's been going since 1923, so lots of people do know the name Clean Easy. It's open to everybody as long as they're over the age of 18. There's no selling involved, and some of the top earners today earn in excess of £250,000 a year. Now, it's not just me telling people that they can earn all this money. There's, on the right hand side, I point them in this direction and say, look, there's been a huge amount of newspaper articles, TV bulletins, radio broadcasts, all about people who've got involved in Clean Easy and who are now earning a fantastic income from it. So at this point I then ask them to turn the page again and make sure that they're on the same page as me, and I say, well, a lot of one of the most popular questions is, why do people join Clean Easy? And people join Clean Easy for lots of different reasons, and each person will have their own reason. One of the main reasons is that they want to earn an extra income. Now that income can be on a full-time or a part-time basis. Some people want to work from home, so for example if they've got a young family and they don't really want to go to work, out to work I should say, then they can run Clean Easy. Some people want flexible working hours, so they might be working full-time in a normal job, they want some extra money on top, so again Clean Easy allows them to do that. And some are so fed up of working for somebody else that they want to run their own business. Okay, so those are the reasons, and then I ask them what their overriding reason would be. Is it the money? Is it the flexible working hours? Is it a combination of 2 or 3 of them? And then they give me the answers. Then I ask them to have a look on the right hand side, and I then start to run through how the business actually works. First of all, I make sure that they can see stage 1, and I say, well, when people come into this business, we suggest that on a part-time basis that you put out at least 250 catalogues a week, because that's going to generate orders in the region of about £1,000 every 4 weeks. Now what happens here is that each person earns 21% of every order that they pick up. So 21% of 1,000 is £210. On top of that though, they're going to get a bonus check from the company for having done that amount of orders that month. And the bonus check on £1,000 is equivalent to £60 in their pocket. So now, on this figure here, you can see that they've actually earned an income of £270 for anywhere between 8 to 12 hours per week. At this point, it's very important to ask if they understand everything at this point. Have they got any questions that they would like to ask? So I then ask them, once they've actually gone through all that, I ask them to turn over the page once more. and they can then see something called volume profit. Now, volume profit is how Clean Easy work out any bonuses that are due to people. I asked them to remember stage 1. They've done £1,000 worth of orders, which is enough to put them on the first step of this ladder, and that would get them the extra £60. Now the thing is, at this point, they'll probably be thinking, well, just a minute, I've achieved the first level of bonus, I want to climb up the ladder. Now in order to climb up the ladder, they're going to need to get more orders in, and one way to get more orders is to simply put out more catalogues. The more catalogues they put out, the further up the plan they go. I also mentioned that we've got people in the team who've put out enough catalogues in a 4-week period to get to the very top level. Now I do say that I don't recommend this, however, if somebody was to do this, they would be earning anywhere between £3,000 to £4,000 per month. So it's a fantastic income, but it is hard work. A much more sensible way of climbing that volume profit scale is to team build, and what I mean by that is to share this opportunity with other people. So I then asked them if they can think of anybody who they might know who might be interested in earning some extra money, and they usually come up with 1 or 2 names. So I said, right, okay, well, let's assume that you're doing £1,000 yourself and you introduce your friend into a business and they go off and they do £1,000. Now at this point, I then point out that they will be on, their team member will now be on the first level of the bonus scale, but they are now paid on the combined amount of orders that they and their team bring in. So if they've got a combined amount of orders of £2,000, that's enough to put them on the second step of the ladder. I do then make sure that they understand how that works. Yeah, have you got any questions? And I'm always asking, have you got any questions? Does that make sense to you? Then I'll ask them, if they can think of anybody else, and very often they'll come up with a third or fourth person. And I say, well, if you get 2 people in your team, so you've got 2 people doing 1,000 each, plus yourself, that's £3,000. That's enough to put you on the 3rd step of the ladder. 4 people, 5 people would get you on the 4th step of the ladder, and so on. Now, after a short period of time, you can have maybe 8, 9, 10 people in your team all doing £1,000, which would now put you on the very top of this volume profit scale. Now, having 8, 9, 10 people all doing £1,000, you're up here, and that would earn you in the region of about £1,230 every 4 weeks. Now, that is shown on the right hand side. So you can see you in the middle, 8, 9, 10 people around the outside, who's in your team. You've climbed to the very top of this bonus ladder. You've got an income of £1,230 now. At this point, I say, any questions again? Do you fully understand that? And very often they'll say yes. I very rarely get questions, but you never know. I then say, well, Clean Easy is a level playing field. It's open to everybody. So what you very often find at this point is that some of your team members will now want to go off and build teams of their own. So as their teams start to develop, they also climb up this volume profit ladder, and by getting to the top level themselves, your team are now earning £1,200 or £1,300 a month. And this has a big impact on your income, because if you turn over the page once more, you'll see now stage 3. Stage 3 is where you've helped 5 people do stage 2, and that would give you an income of £50,000 per year. So it really does pay to start bringing people into your team as soon as you possibly can. The next question though is, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes possibly 3 to 5 years to get to that level. But what would you do with that sort of money? And then I wait for them to come back. And very often they're saying, I'd put a deposit on a house, I'd buy a car, I'd go on some extra holidays, whatever it is, which is fantastic. I then ask them, do you like holidays? And the vast majority of people say, yeah, love them. And have you been on any lately? No, I haven't, I can't afford it. So I then say, well, let's turn over the page once more, because not only does Clean Easy give you a fantastic income to aim for, but it also gives you other incentives and rewards. And then I point out that every single year Clean Easy take anywhere between 150 to 250 people away on these all expenses paid trips around the world. I mentioned that we've been on 8 of these trips to places like Sydney, Rio and the Caribbean and so on. But much more important than that, we've helped lots of people within our group to go on these trips. So that's very important. The other thing is, I also ask if they drive. Yeah, some people do, some people don't. Whatever the answer is, I say, well, as you go through the Clean Easy plan, you can also qualify for free cars. Yeah, these cars aren't company cars, they're actually given to you. If you don't drive, you don't want the car, you can sell it the following day and keep the proceeds from it. And you know, a lot of people are very impressed with what Clean Easy can actually give them. So at this point, this is probably the most important part of the presentation. I ask them if they've got any questions, which they rarely have because we've been through everything. Do they understand it all? Yeah. Okay. Does it look like it would be of interest to you? That's very, very important. Does it look like it would be of interest? And most people that I've been through this with say, yeah, it is. Okay, when are you looking to get started? And they'll say, well, as soon as possible. Fantastic. Let me show you the next step then. So I then ask them to turn over the page. And I say, first of all, you can get lots of help, training and support. You've got the service centre, you've got a team success manual, you've got trainings, video trainings, e-support, you've got a Facebook page and everything else. All right, so I make sure that they understand that they've got lots of help and support there. Then I run through the summary of it. So to summarise, you know, you've got a fantastic income to aim for, you've got the flexibility of hours, you've got the cash bonuses to aim for, all the overseas holidays, the cars, all the help and support, and also you'll become part of a very friendly team. Now at this point I say really that we need to have a look at the next step, and the next step is to turn over the page, and it says here that you will need a business kit and you'll need some catalogues to get you up and running, because this is your own business. And the most popular package that we've got, and there are 2 websites by the way, one is for the £45 option, one is for the £25. The one I've chosen here is the £25 option. So I say, right, this is our most popular package. This is where you can get started for an initial investment of £25. Yeah. Once you made that initial payment, you will then get 250 catalogues. Now if you put those catalogues out twice a week, at the end of the month you're going to earn yourself between £500 to £700. Now in the next 2 months Clean Easy will ask for 2 further payments of £25 to finish paying for the catalogues, but again in each of those months you're going to be earning between £500 to £700. So although there was an investment to be made, it's tiny in comparison to what you're actually going to be earning. The way to get started is very, very simple. Literally all I would need to do is send you a link to our registration page. The registration takes 5 to 8 minutes to fill out, and once you've completed it and made that initial payment, you will then get the books. I will then be back in contact with you to take you through the next step of what you need to do in terms of putting your catalogues together, going out, delivering them, and start to produce orders which will generate an income for you. Would you like me to send you that link? And people say, yeah, I'd love to. Brilliant. Okay. I then say, what I'll do, I'll send the link in the next 5 minutes, and lots of the people that I speak to like me to actually run through the registration process with them, because there's a couple of awkward questions in there. So if I'm on the end of the phone, I can answer any questions for you. Is that okay? And they say, yeah, that's fine. Brilliant. When are you looking to fill that registration form out? And they'll say, well, I'll do it as soon as you send it through. Brilliant. Well, what I'll do, I'll send the form through now, and then I'll give you a call back in 5 minutes. Or if they say I'll fill it out tomorrow, fantastic. I'll send the form through now, and I'll give you a call back tomorrow. What time's good for you? And that is literally it. And then you then ring them back, run through their registration form, and away you go. Okay, so hopefully that's been of help. That's the way that I tend to do my online presentations. Very simple, very straightforward, and good luck with yours. Thank you.